Hello my dear SimRacing community. It is with great pleasure that I present you another special on my channel today. Today I have Nick, as known as Nikita Stepanenko from Advanced Simulation Modding, on the microphone. Enjoy and have fun listening. Hello Nick, thank you very much for your time and please tell us a little bit about you personally and your team. How many men are you and who is responsible for what?
Hello everyone, my name is Nick, I am 27 years old and I live in St. Petersburg, Russia. The composition of our team is often different depending on the project. Most often we work with Andrea Terzi, our physics developer, while I am engaged in transferring models to the game, setting up materials and creating sounds. Recently, Ottavio De Barros joined us. He is painting liveries for our cars. Also, our factory drivers at Patreon help us test new cars, and also we have our own testing teams, which are different for me and Andrea.
Apart from the fact that you have recently changed your name from RSS to ASM and have formed an alliance with United Racing Design, what has changed with you?
I decided to change the name of our team, the main colors of the brand, and get rid of the old name because I wanted to get rid of the reputation of the model converter from Real Racing 3 mobile game. After we released the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo, I realized that our work deserves more recognition and decided that henceforth we would either work with third-party studios and transfer their cars to rFactor 2, like we did with United Racing Design, or we would order our own cars from the 3D modeler and make them for the game. We've reached a whole new level and learned a ton of new things over the past couple of months, and we're ready to release our own project in this year.
What are your plans for the short, medium and long term?
We have recently published our plans for 2021, which can be found on our page on Patreon. In short, ahead of us is the release of the NASCAR Truck Series mod, scheduled for February 12th, just before season opener. Next, we want to show first previews of the F1 2021 car before the start of the season in March 20, which we want to release in mid-June. In addition by March 20 we will try to make at least one DPA class car, which I think will be Mazda or Acura, I don't know to be honest. By June 11, on the eve of the 24 hours of Le Mans, we want to prepare for public release at least one and most likely two LMP1 cars. Read more in our post on plans for this year at our Patreon page.
Are you a full-time modding team or do you develop vehicles together in your spare time?
We work in our free time from work and study. I have been combining modding with study and work for 8 years now.
Let's move on to your latest mod for the SuperGT 2013 season. The release is just around the corner. How did you come to bring these vehicles back to life in the virtual world of motorsport? What makes this class so special for you?
I always liked Super GT cars from the early 10th years, so when URD and in particular Alex Ogrenitz approached me with a proposal to make these cars for Factor 2, I agreed without hesitation. It was a wonderful experience for us with the highest quality models.
S397 also have a Super GT in its portfolio, namely the Nissan GT. Will the cars from the balance of performance system be able to compete with each other? Can I race all these available cars together? By that I mean, are they tuned in such a way that no vehicle has too much of an advantage or disadvantage?
We tried to balance both cars under the Nissan GTR from Studio 397. Perhaps in the basic settings the cars will not be equal in speed, but the correct tuning of Nissan and our Honda and Lexus will equalize these cars in strength. We tried to make the default settings for our cars as pleasant as possible, so you may need some time to equalize Nissan in speed with them.
What about the physics of the Super GT vehicles? We are talking here about the Super GT Honda and the Super GT Lexus. Have these vehicles been programmed with the exact real-life physics and data of the real-life vehicles? And if so, how does a small modding team get such data? Have you established contact with the teams and exchanged information with them?
Yes, we tried to make the performance balance for both cars as close to reality as possible. Fortunately, we had the opportunity to find the technical details of these cars on the internet and also rely on the specification of similar racing cars that share some parts with them. It was not easy to balance our cars with Nissan, especially in the area of the chassis, because all three cars have different profiles, different weight balance and different engines. But I think that in the end we did well.
How long did it take you to develop these Super GT cars from the idea in your head onto paper and then into the virtual world?
Well, as I said earlier, the idea originally belonged to URD and personally to Ales Ogrenitz. We started in the summer, around July I think, and with short breaks worked on this machine. For the last 3 months we have been focusing on physics and graphics and sounds. In all three of the components we had difficulties in development, but I think both cars turned out to be great and enjoyable to drive.
Apart from the Super GT, you still have some very interesting projects on the go. What exactly are they and what can you already tell us about them?
We have planned to release the LMP1 class cars this year and re-release some of our DPI class cars like Acura and Mazda and add on-road Nissan to them. We also intend to correct our mistakes in the development of the previous year's Formula 1 mod and make a unique car with excellent physics together with one SimRacing portal. We will announce more information on this a bit later. Well, the Truck Series project is very important for us. We are working with the developer of original stock cars for rFactor 2 and we hope for an excellent result.
I have a very important and interesting question for me personally. You have been given permission by URD to update the Ford GT GTE, so that this car will finally fit to the rest of the GTE available cars filed of S397. How far are you with the work and when can we expect a release? For me personally, this car is one of the most beautiful cars in modern sports history. All the more pleasing that it can soon be introduced into the GTE file. What else can you tell us about this car? Does this car also include detailed real-life physics?
Honestly, I can't tell you much about the refinement process of this car. URD's plans for our team change very often, so we cannot now with absolute certainty name an update release date for this car, but we will try to share the details with you as soon as possible.
You offer your community members the option to join you as a Patreon. What are the advantages of being a Patreon member of ASM? And what are the costs?
First of all, you will support our team in this difficult time of changing our priorities and reaching a new level of cars development. We offer 3 subscription options. For $1 you will stay on top of the development process of all our cars and see cool private previews and renders. For $5 you can find cars for our team for every available car for rFactor 2 in addition to all previously listed features. We can also make your own livery according to your order, which will then be included in the release version of our mods. And for $10 for a month, you will be directly involved in the development of cars and testing of early builds with the ability to direct the development process in the right direction. We are happy to work with our patrons and listen to their opinions and receive feedback from them. This helps us a lot to produce better content for rFactor 2.
Which of your mods is your personal favorite and why?
Well, I really like the DPI class cars that we released last year for rFactor 2. I mean Cadillac DPI VR, Mazda RT24P and Acura RX-05. I also like the first car we made for this simulator, the Porsche 911 GT3 RS, and also we did absolutely brilliant Huracan Super Trofeo cars with unique handling. I really love these cars and I hope we will remake all these cars with unique 3D models in the near future.
Yes, that was it again. Thank you, Nick, for the little insight into your team ASM, and hopefully we can do it again soon. So you see, there is a lot of expertise and passion in this team, and for just $1 you can guarantee your support to this team and keep them alive in their spare time. Considering that these guys have been working on the Super GT mod since last summer, I think that's a fair balance, don't you? Well guys, that's it for today. And if you want more material like this from my channel, you know what to do. Press the subscribe button and support me. See you then. Bye bye.